Good afternoon and welcome to our Midday Mull for Tuesday the 21st. Sitting outside an empty church, but sitting in the beautiful gardens of the church, with the sprinklers going in the distance, the birds shouting, the sun shining, and the beauty that God has put. And I'm just struck by the privilege of being part of a place like this. And what a privilege it is that God gives us these things. And today I was reading part of Paul's letter to Timothy, the second letter, fourth chapter, and he has this the erudite philosophical thoughts going on, saying to Timothy, preach the word, be prepared in season and out of season, correct, rebuke and encourage. The time will come when men will not put up with sound doctrine. Instead, to suit their own desires, they will gather around them a great number of teachers. And so he's looking at the church's teaching and how people will chase after whatever it is that suits their own specific needs. But then at the same time, Paul is writing this in a context that is entirely human. And we read a little later in the chapter where he gets onto personal remarks and says to Timothy, get Mark and bring him with you because he's helpful to me in the ministry. I sent Tychicus to Ephesus, and when you come, bring the cloak I left with you at Carpus and my scrolls, especially the parchments. And as I was reading this and his life and the people that had opposed him, was struck by just how human it is. That we easily think of Paul and the apostles in this kind of superhero kind of context where they were living in a splendid isolation with God's Spirit moving through them and this glorious apostolic reality, whereas in actual fact it was the same reality that we inhabit, with where you need a cloak and you've left things behind, and some people are on your side and other people are against you. And yet that is where Paul and indeed Peter and John did their ministry. And this is the life we find ourselves in. And to me that is an encouragement that our lives, human as they are, as disjointed and fragmented and confusing as they sometimes are not that different to the life that the apostles lived. And that's the lives where God works. And so we must expect for God to work in us and with us in the mundane. And certainly there'll be times when things will be splendid and there'll be some kind of miraculous and deeply godly, but mostly life is just going to be life. And we need to see God and experience God and know God in that life. And that's the excitement of walking with Him and knowing God as our Father. Be blessed.